Hey, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Digital Making at Home live stream. I am Mr. C and I'm coming to you live from Cambridge. Back once again, as always, is the amazing and effervescent Christina. Say hello everybody in the chat. Let us know where you're tuning in from. How's it going, Christina?
Hi, Mark, and hello to everyone. I'm joining from Nebraska. Today is going to be great. I'm really excited. We're going to chat with some cool folks. And in the spirit of the holidays, you can notice our outfits. We're going to be doing some making and creating some holiday 3D models.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that. I love playing around in a bit of BlocksCAD and doing some 3D stuff. Speaking of holiday things, like how's your holiday plans going? Are you ready to chip off yet? You're off soon.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm taking some time off. I'm really excited to do exploring some like decorating cookies. My partner got me a really cool like decorating kit. And also we've got tons of snow here. We also saw the Geminids meteor shower Sunday night. Did you get to see that?
I didn't know. I didn't get to check that out. Like with the baby and stuff, I just sleep now when there's no kids awake. But yeah, was it cool?
Yes. Oh, it was amazing. As I've talked about before, there's lots of sky in Nebraska. So, I mean, within 5 minutes, I saw like 7 meteors. It was absolutely incredible. And it was definitely after my fur baby, Cassie, went to sleep, but it was really neat. It was something that like I had forgotten about. And I think I saw it on social media and then I went out there and it was incredible. It was really incredible. Yeah, and it was neat too because I'm like out there and there's like the Cassiopeia constellation. There's the Geminids meteor shower. It was awesome. Did anyone at home? Did any of you all joining us from home see the Geminids meteor shower? I'm seeing also some folks just saying hi. Hello, Archie on Facebook. Dan on Facebook. Hello, Go Ball. Always joining us. I see Larry saying hi from Canada. Larry also got a Raspberry Pi 400. Awesome, Larry. Super cool. Let us know how it's going with that. Richard, Chafia, I hope I'm saying your name correctly, Lars, Paula in Colombia, Lars in Sweden. This is amazing. So many folks from all around the world.
Truly international audience, right? And so for those people who are tuning in for the first time this week, welcome to Digital Making at Home. It's all about getting young people all over the world, just like you, coding, creating, making awesome stuff with technology. Every week, Christina and I chat to amazing people, we code together, and we see amazing digital making projects from all over the world. We're broadcasting live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch right now. So get in touch with the chat. Like we can see your comments. If you type things in, we can see your comments and questions and get back to you. And make sure to hit our subscribe button on YouTube. So you'll be the first to get the updates when our content comes out and know when we're
subscribe.
Absolutely. It's just a click away and then you'll instantly know when our content's coming out. You can subscribe to this show and all the other fun stuff we upload and learning content, things like that. So big shout out to Richard Smith, Volksvan, and John Nilsson, who are our 3 most recent subscribers. Thank you for joining our community. It's awesome to have you along for the ride.
Yes. And actually, I mean, we've been getting a lot of subscribers. It's amazing. And I want more. And I'm thinking, Jill actually gave me this idea. What if, and she's going to be our guest, she's coming on. What if like when we reach 1,000 subscribers, we'll bring Cassiopeia on to the stream? What do you think?
I'm down for that. Yeah, I'm all the way here for that. We should definitely be doing that because like puppies on the stream, that's just got to.
Yes. Okay, folks, tell your friends, let's get to 1,000 subscribers. If it happens today, if it happens next stream, we'll bring Cassie, my puppy, on and we'll do some coding with her. How about that?
Just a click and we can see the cutest puppy ever. It's just a click away, everybody. Just do it.
She is the cutest puppy ever. Also seeing hi from folks. Joshua saying I look like an elf. You betcha. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas from Ireland. Thanks so much, Michael, for joining us. I have Jonathan saying how he's trying his very best to rep the Raspberry Pi Foundation. Thank you, Jonathan. We appreciate that. We've also got BlocksCAD.
Yeah, that just made me nervous. I'm seeing that and now I'm all edgy, like seeing BlocksCAD. Yeah, shout out to BlocksCAD.
We're going to be hanging out. It's great.
Yeah, we love your tool, guys. Keep tuning it in. It's wicked. And so this week's stream, we've got a really inspirational guest, right, Christina? We've got Jill, and she's coming on to talk about code clubs and CoderDojos with us, and Scratch Conference, PyCademy. She's totally networked in with the community here at Raspberry Pi, and she can have a bit of a perspective on what it's like to come in from the ground up with kids and all that sort of stuff. So should we bring her on?
Yes, let's bring him on.
Hey, Jill, how's it going? And Max?
Good. How are you guys? Thanks for having us.
Yes, thanks for joining.
Our pleasure. Thanks for coming along. Yeah,
absolutely. Where are y'all joining us from?
We are in Southwest London.
Cool.
Awesome. That's wicked. So, I mean, do you guys want to introduce yourselves to the audience? Like, tell us a bit about yourselves and, why you're here.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Jill. I've been volunteering for a CoderDojo for about 3 years, which is at a local library in Richmond. And one Saturday a month, we just take over the library and it would book up entirely every time. And
Oh, wow.
such a great initiative. And Raspberry Pi has been so great with pouring resources in, from lending us Raspberry Pis to actually having really knowledgeable, enthusiastic volunteers to help out. So I've been such a great fan of the program and of Raspberry Pi. This is Max. He's 10.
Hello. Hi, Max.
Indeed.
Max, I heard you're in a code club at your school, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. What type of coding do you do at your club?
Oh, we do coding on Scratch.
Oh,
man,
okay.
yeah.
What do you like about? Can you tell folks at home if maybe there might be someone who doesn't know what Scratch is? What is Scratch?
Scratch is a really good website where you can code sprites and things to do whatever you like, and you can make games and you can make projects and things like that. So you can do really a lot of things, and you can pretty much make everything that you would want to.
Everything, yeah. What's the coolest thing you've made as a project in your club?
Well, in my code club, I once did a quiz, and that was really fun because we tested it on each other. So yeah, it was very fun.
Neat. What was the quiz about?
I think it was country flags.
Oh, I don't know if I can guess that. That sounds like a hard quiz.
And then,
Yeah. No, when I was a kid, I was into vexillology, man. Bit of flag action. I used to know heaps and heaps of different countries' flags. Can you still remember the ones from your project? Did it actually help any of them sink in?
A few of them I remember, although not many of them.
Not many. It's a while ago.
On another person's quiz, I got like 2 out of 10. I wasn't very good.
Oh well, that's right, man. Maybe the quiz was like.
It's about the growth.
Sketchy.
It's about the growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, always about the growth. Well,
journey.
Jill, I'm super curious. What got you into programming? How did you become interested in CoderDojo and doing that with young people?
Well, for me, and we've really enjoyed these digital making at home lives. And what you've said before, seeing it through a beginner's lens. I mean, I'm not a trained computer scientist, and
neither am I.
And that's what's so great, is that there's room for everyone. I'm a journalist, and you've worked at BBC and CNN, and so I was coming into it as a storyteller. And I've also taught in journalism programs at university. So it really was. I love the fusion of media and education, but really using it as a teaching tool and a storytelling tool. And I love that, there's room for everyone, even if your goal is not to get a PhD in computer science, but rather to find a way into storytelling, gaming, creating your own games. It's just a chance to really be creative. And
Yes, I love that, like just the creative aspect and what you said, like there's room for everyone. And that's such a big part of what we do at the foundation and what's possible because of you and what you're doing at your dojo, which you mentioned is in Richmond. And I heard that your dojo specifically received an award recently.
Yes. It was in 2019. We won a Community Heroes Award, which was really nice. We had been nominated by surprise by someone lovely from Raspberry Pi. It was very nice to then win it, and we were really happy to have that recognition, because there has been such great outpouring from the community. Like I said, it books up every time, so it's been really nice to be involved and to see that momentum. And there are other code clubs in the neighborhood, one not too far away, that had been going for a few more years than we had, and they came and they trained us and they offered us tips and advice, and we would swap volunteering at each other's code club. So it's really nice to have that kind of community.
Oh, that's what I love about our community, is the fact that you have folks, and I support our community in the USA, and I'll have folks who will email a dojo across the country, and they might have a phone call and give each other tips and tricks for how to run their club. And Mr. C runs a dojo too.
Yeah, and we saw last week as well, the Code Tigers were running dojos in America and India. Right. Amazing stuff. The community is really, really cool.
So shout out to our Code Club and CoderDojo community. You all make this possible and bring these opportunities to kids. And Jill, you mentioned it's always full. What do you tell like a young person? It's their first time at the dojo. Like, what do you tell them? Like, why should they start coding? Why should they jump in and learn coding?
I think now permeates so many different levels of education in life now, and will continue to do so. So I mean, I feel like even a few years ago, I would hear people say, "Oh, well, no, I want to go into medicine, so coding's not for me." But really, I mean, you're going to need to know coding and whatever career you're in. So I think it's just really important to know, and I think as well it's really fun, and there's so much to it. I mean, a lot of people, they find Scratch and BlocksCAD, these block-based, picture-based programs, are more fun to do, and maybe they're intimidated by the Pythons, the HTMLs, the text-based systems, but that's fine. I mean, I love that there's something for everyone, and I love that so many of them are open source, so that and there's so many free resources to help them learn.
Yeah. And Scratch as well is like beautifully intuitive in the idea. Scratch, BlocksCAD, all those ones, like in the sense that you want concepts and you want them to do them in this order and you want to clip them together like this, but having to learn syntax and spelling when you're 6 and 7 is hard enough. So having to learn syntax and spelling for a whole other language that talks to machines is huge, but having these blocks that you can click together in colorful ways and you understand the interface, like to put kids on, if teaching kids to code, kids who have learned from scratch first are so much easier to pick up on Python, HTML, everything like that. It just shoots you forward very quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Like in the simplest of forms for like folks at home, like with block-based coding, Scratch, BlocksCAD. Like I was practicing BlocksCAD yesterday. I had my puppy in one arm and I just had my hand and like with the mouse. So it's really easy for little kids. Just all they need is their mouse. They don't need to do typing. Small hands, great for block-based coding.
Definitely, yeah. That's
for sure. And I know you had also, we've talked about AstroPi on the program before, and Jill, and I know you've actually talked with young people about AstroPi and actually helped kids get their code into space. What was that like for you?
Well, I mean, it's the AstroPi has been such a wonderful project. So we did it at home. And then I also went into Max's code club at school and we worked on it there. And it's just so neat the way you don't need to know any coding at all. And you can send a message to the astronauts on the International Space Station. And then you get a certificate showing that it actually made it to space. And you also get the coordinates of where the astronauts were when they read your message. And it introduces kids to Python, and you only need like rudimentary understanding of Python, but you learn how to, this on the screen are the coordinates of where our little family program ran. I think we said good luck to the astronauts. We kept it simple and inspirational, but we were really excited to get that.
That's super neat. Max, what was that like for you to like send code to space to astronauts? I've never talked to an astronaut.
It was actually really interesting because doing that would go up to space was very amazing. I think I just sent my name and my school, but I still, I don't know where the astronauts were when I did mine, but yeah, it was really fun.
Amazing, yeah. It's like you can reach out and touch space, right? Like it's like you're part of it now. It's like, yeah, very cool, man. And I think that's my favorite part of AstroPi as well, is that you get to control a machine that is literally in space right now. Like your code goes to space and does things in space and you have that interaction with it. And like I'm a big maker and I know that you went to PyAcademy, Jill. I did PyAcademy as well, like way back OG. I think I was on the second ever PyAcademy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that my first interaction with Raspberry Pi was making stuff. So like when you went to PyAcademy, how was that? Like, what is it? How did you enjoy it?
Well, first, I mean, it's so wonderful. Raspberry Pi offers that. So it was, it went last October, 2019. It was in Bath. And I also found it intimidating at first because there were people there who use Raspberry Pis all the time. We were just tinkers, makers, and I was quite new to it. And I was partnered with someone who did it all the time, and we were given little tasks, and my partner would just do it really quickly. And I was like, oh, glad I dodged that one. And then one of the instructors was like, no, she has to do it. I was like, why would we want that? Because he knows how and I don't. And then, but it was so great because then I got to the point where I was comfortable. And what was so neat is by the end of the weekend, we all split up and did projects. And I worked with this reception teacher, and she wanted to design a project that she could take back to her students that was simple. She just wanted them to be able to create a little festive scene and using lights that they could program themselves. And what I loved about that is we weren't trying to make the coolest, most complicated robot anyone had ever seen. And there are some amazing people there who did indeed create this really complicated robot, which is great. And that wasn't my goal. My goal was to, get across it, to learn what to do, and then to figure out how to use it as a teaching tool. I just met the most wonderful people who I'm still in touch with, and really, honed my Raspberry Pi.
Amazing. Yeah, totally. I mean, we've got a video of your project, I think. If we just bring that up for a second and have a look.
I'm checking my bag as well.
Amazing, like a small little Christmas nativity scene. That was super cute. Like, and that's what, like you're saying, that's the beauty of it, is that like coding is for everybody. There's no sort of snobbery or anything in the community. It's like, if you want to learn, come along. I'll show you how to do a cool thing. And like, we can crack on with doing that now. Should we just like jump into BlocksCAD and make some 3D models?
Yes.
Yeah.
Those people at home as well, if you go to blockscad3d.com/editor, you'll be able to pop open the new editor in your browser, and we'll share our screens with you so you can see what we're doing as we code along. And if you just follow along and pop in the blocks, that's absolutely fine. You'll be able to make the same thing that we're doing if you just crack on. So I've got mine open here. Fantastic. So you'll see with BlocksCAD, you get like this 3D plane here, which is where we're going to show our picture. Okay, so if you're at home, you can use your left mouse button to move the plane and look around. Right mouse button is translate, so you slide up, down, and sideways, and you can use your mouse wheel to scroll in and out of your picture. Okay, so we're going to use these menus on here, and just like Scratch, you'll see if you click these open, we get menus just as we would in Scratch, different colors. So the first thing we want is we're going to make a snowman today. And so snowman's made out of some pretty simple shapes, right? When you're working in this, you want to break it down to its most simple geometric solids. So what shapes do we need for a snowman, guys?
What do you think, Max? Snowman?
I think you need 3 circles, and then if you want to make it quite detailed, which I think in this experiment you do, you add a hat and a nose and 2 eyes.
Yeah, man, we could do all those things. So down into their most basic sort of 3D shapes, what we're talking about is spheres, right? So 3D circles, we want spheres. We probably want some cylinders for the hat, maybe, and a cone for the nose, and maybe some other smaller spheres or some flat cylinders for the eyes. So let's start by building our snowman's body. So the first thing we want is a sphere block under 3D shapes. So we drag that across, and just like Scratch, everybody at home, you'll see we drag them into the workspace, and it just chills there. It hangs out there. And we can, anytime you want to see what it is that you've got in the code, just click this render button down the bottom and wait a sec, and it pops up the code that we've put in, okay? So I've got a sphere of radius 10, and that's come exactly in the center of my plane at 0, 0, 0, because we live in a 3-dimensional universe, right? So we have 3 dimensions, X, Y, and Z. That's what we're working in. So you should have yours here. Just render your sphere to make sure it's all going. And then if you fancy it, just to play around with a bit, you can pick the color down here for your sphere if you want. But we'll settle that up to be white later on.
And we just put the link in the chat, so feel free to join along with us. And BlocksCAD, I know you're watching. Let us know if you have any tips. I'm new to BlocksCAD, but I've had a lot of fun with it this week as I've been building my snowman.
Nice. So what's wrong with our snowman at the moment? Like, you can see where my 0 plane is. What's wrong with his butt? Something going on with it. What should we do with it, man? What do you want to do with it, Max?
So first of all, make the bottom one not pink.
We can make it not pink. Yeah, totally, man. Any color. Well, you can choose from 8 colors. Now, we can make it go white. Like, that's pretty easy to do. If you go into transforms, you'll see there's a block that says color. You can snap that around your block there. And then in here, we'll be able to choose white. And then it should go white. When you render again, we now have white.
Nice.
All right. But I was thinking, like, more than anything, his butt is underneath the ground. So I want to try and I want to lift that up. So I want to transform again. And so in this sense, it's not like transform like Optimus Prime that changes into something else, right? It's transform that like moves up and down, sideways. It means move something around in the mathematical sense, right? Not like we become a truck. Like, that's not what we're doing with this. So the next thing we want is transforms, and we want to move it. We want translate. Okay, so we want it to be white. We want to put our translate in here.
This is great for math teachers, like geometry even. Like, you could bring this like into your classroom for like a holiday like activity, having like kids practice, because you've got the coordinate plane, you've got the 3D plane, right? I mean, this brings me back to calculus, like diagonal calculus.
So just to test your high school calculus, which axes do we want to move our snowman in order to lift him up above the ground? Which of our 3 axes are we working in?
Right. Let me play with mine, because what's great, I couldn't figure out which one it was, but it's Z.
Yes, it is fantastic. Although those of us on this side of the pond say Z.
Z. But yeah, and I did that, folks. I actually have it open on my computer, and you can move it around. When I first started, I was like, what are the names of these axes? So you can move it, and then BlocksCAD is great. They've got the labels at the end of the axes. So that's how I just moved it again, just to check for Z.
Cool. And so if we've got that, so it'll turn our ball white. It will translate at 10 because that's the radius of our sphere. So we know that it's 10. We move it up 10, and it should sit on the edge of our sphere. And we render again. We get that.
Nice.
Okay. And so that's just a little pro tip for everybody as well. If you decide that like where you've finally got your thing is no good for you to look at your shape anymore, if you click the little target here, it resets your view, and then you can just zoom back in on your shape and play around with it again. Okay, so the little bullseye down here just recenters your view again.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's great to know.
Cool. So we've got one sphere. What's the next step? What should we add to it? What's the next bit we need for our snowman?
It's a body.
He needs a body, right? So he's got the bottom part, he needs the middle part, and then the top part. So we want 2 more spheres. So exactly the same way, we're going to make another sphere, and we're going to translate it a distance, but it's got to be smaller, right? So go to your 3D shapes and drag in a sphere block. Make it slightly smaller. So not radius 10, you can do like 6, 7, 8. It's up to you, really, whatever you want, but not too small, because then the head will have to be like super tiny, and we don't want that.
What do you think, Max? Do you have a suggestion for what radius we should use?
I think I did 6 or 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll do 6 or 7.
And then we want to translate our block. So we've got our thing of small radius 7, and we want to translate it up so it sits on top of our other one. Okay, so we know that we've got the whole distance of our bottom sphere, which is 20, right? The radius is 10, another radius is 20. So we want at least 20, and then half of our sphere again is 7. So we want 20 and 7. So change that Z to a 27, like this. And then we just slide that in up underneath here. Oh, no, why is that popping out for me? I need to...
Nice. And fun fact, my neighborhood is covered in snow right now, and I didn't even realize this, but like last night was so cool at like 10:30, 11, super late. It was I could see everything because the snow, I didn't even realize this, but the snow is so reflects all the light. So I talked to like some friends of mine. So I'm thinking about this snowman. We actually built one in our backyard. I should have gotten a picture of it. But like this, like it was absolutely just, it seemed like it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon last night because of the white of the snow. #science was really cool.
Awesome. So you can see here we've got 2 spheres now. I've rendered both my spheres at that distance. And this time we're going to cheat, right? Like, so I'm always a big proponent of working smarter, but now we understand how the code works. We can do what we do in Scratch, and we can just duplicate that and make a 3rd sphere. All right, so we understand how it works. Let's have a look at Max. Max, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing it here.
Ooh,
Awesome.
Looks great.
That's wicked, man. Well done.
Nice.
Okay, function.
Okay.
We've been playing around with it, but we did not think to duplicate. I like that little hack.
It helps.
Yeah, right.
But that's like you get to learn about the duplicate after you've had some practice moving around the blocks. That's the secret you learn.
Okay, there we go. I still need to translate mine up a little bit higher. So let's go for, just want it to be a little bit more.
Javiera, is this on YouTube? Is like BlocksCAD is amazing and fun. We agree, Javiera. Thanks for joining us today.
All right, so there we go. So I've got like a 3-ball snowman there. So what's next? What should we add to our snowman next? What do you think, Christina? What do we add?
Oh, I'm thinking some eyes.
Some eyes. All right. Okay.
And for mine, I actually did 2 different color eyes for funsies.
Oh, nice. So, I mean, we can snap all of those balls together and make that one shape if we want to do that. I mean, I can show you guys how to do that now. It's not necessarily that you have to do it, but I'll just show you so it's like a handy trick, right? If we grab one of these here and we grab a union, right, I can just drag all of my spheres with their translates into here. All right, I'm going to add another one as well with a little plus symbol. Translate all there. Okay, so you can see I've got union. That's going to draw all 3 of my shapes. And if I want more shapes, I can just keep adding them, right, which is what we're going to do a bit later.
Oh, neat.
Go pop.
Ah, then you just only have to do 1 color block.
one color block, right? So I set my
Nice.
whole union single shape that's now been merged into one, and that's all one color. Okay, so that's a nice little handy trick. And we just render.
I did 3 separate ones, but I'm going to change it now. I like the union.
No,
block.
that's totally cool. Like the 3 separate ones is a fine way to do it, but the union block just helps you keep a little bit of order, right? So now that we know what we're doing, we'll move forward to that step. So now essentially we want to make some eyes for our snowman, yeah? So we need another what shape, Christina?
Another sphere.
Another sphere, indeed. So we'll pull that
I
in.
hope Miss Smith, my geometry teacher from high school, is watching this. She'd be very proud, calling out the shapes. I know the plane. I know what axes are on. Shout out to you, Miss Smith. I remember geometry. It was amazing.
Nice. Good on you, Miss Smith. Got to just recognize those teachers, man. Like they work super duper hard, especially now.
Yes.
Now. Shout outs to all the teachers. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to make some eyes, right? So we're going to have our sphere that's got to be really small. So we're going to make it like a radius 1 sphere. And then we have to translate it forward a bit, to the side a bit, and then up a bit so that it can be where we need our eyeball to be. So what we'll do is we'll translate it sideways, forward a bit, sideways a bit, and then up a bit. And we'll make it black because I like coal eyes, sort of a grayish black color. And then we should render and see what we get.
Nice. We'll have one. Oh, it's a little low.
Okay, it's a little low, so I got to play with that a little bit more. So
like a bow tie.
Will be about, let's have a look. Cool.
Now, when I first did this, I ended up with my eyes on the side of the head that looked like earmuffs. So think about the axes, people. I'm seeing Richard is saying that BlocksCAD is great for designing buildings with students for sure, right? We're just doing a snowman, but you could do anything.
All sorts of stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
I love using it with the boys, Zach and Xavier. They really enjoy playing with it. They could just sit all day and mess around with it. And then I let them 3D print the things that they make, so they're usually pretty happy.
Oh, that's really neat. So you could take this. So if you could take this and essentially send it to a 3D printer and print it out.
Absolutely, yeah. You can download the file. So you see down the bottom here, it says generate STL. That's all you need. You really need an STL file. Just throw it in your 3D printer. And you could absolutely 3D print this little model. You can make it like a Christmas ornament or a gift for grandma, anything you want. Yeah, very easy to do.
That's so cute.
Okay. We got 2 little eyeballs now. That's pretty cool. And then I guess a carrot nose, right?
Yes, a carrot nose. What shape is that?
It's this.
All right. You want a cone shape for that, right?
Yeah. And there's a special way to do this, which I'm excited for you to show.
Right
now, mine's a cylinder.
Yeah, that's the thing. So you got to have the cylinder, and you have to narrow down one of the ends. So we grab our cylinder, we pop it down here. Okay. So I'll pop it all into this orange color block in a minute when it's carrot shaped. So what I wanted to do is I've got a cylinder, and I want to have one of the radiuses or the radii be smaller than the other. So we're going to change radius 1 to be a very small number, and we're going to leave radius 2 a bigger number, and you'll see that one end will be really narrow and make a point. All right, so the way you do that is you go into your code and you say you want your radius here to be 0.1, and we want our radius 2 to be 1, because you'll notice radius 2 changes with radius 1, right? So BlocksCAD being clever there and making sure that you keep it as a cylinder unless you deliberately go through and tell it, no, I want to change my thing, right? So we've got to go like this. I got to change this to, I don't want it to be locked, okay? Yep. And then I say 0.1 here, and it keeps them separate now, right? If you leave it locked, it will just keep changing them and you get a cylinder. I know loads of kids who get really frustrated by not noticing the little padlock.
Yeah.
So unlock it, and then
I'm one of those little kids. I got frustrated, but I figured it out.
Yeah. So then we're going to do it, and it's exactly the same thing that we had before. Remember that when you get a cylinder, it will present it vertically for you. So we need to rotate our cylinder, which is one of the instructions under transforms, and we also need to translate. So some mathematical terms coming out there. So we want a translate, okay, and we want to rotate. How's it going, Max?
Good. We've just made the eyes.
Yeah,
awesome,
nice.
man. Well done. Okay. All right. So we want to rotate it on our y-axis 90. Okay, and that means it will turn it to the side 90 degrees. And then we want to translate it. We want our y to be about 8, and we want our z to be somewhere up around where the middle of my head is. And from memory, that's about 38. Let's have a check. Yep, 38. So I'm going to render that picture now.
So I see a question from Rainbow Colorful on Twitch. They made the eyes, but they don't appear. So make sure, did you click render, which is in the bottom, like center of your page? Make sure to click render, Rainbow Colorful on Twitch, so that you can get the eyes to appear.
Ooh, I can't find my little nose. I'm not sure where it's gone. Oh, there it is. Look, it's on the floor.
And also, maybe similarly, Rainbow Colorful. See how Mr. C he clicked render and he couldn't find his carrot, but it was on the wrong plane, or it was on like the wrong location. So maybe check it out where it might be.
Nose challenges.
I'm pretty sure I want to reverse my translate rotate blocks. Let's
Max,
see.
are you willing to share your nose challenge? We can, so folks know that we're all might be struggling a little bit.
Uh-oh.
These poor
My nose is backwards.
Can't smell anything. He's being attacked by his nose.
That is what it looks like. Yeah, let's re-render that now.
That's not just us.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. There's always some sort of like.
Oh, it's like a pencil. Snowman's an architect.
Let's see. Come on. No, that's not what I wanted.
Just checking in Rainbow Colorful. Were you able to get your eyes to show up on Twitch?
And come on, we can do it.
For the record, I was able to get mine to work.
Is yours working? Have you got it?
Yes. Here, I'll share my
screen. I can't get mine to translate properly. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm gonna work it out.
Here's mine.
It's very smooth.
Thank you. That was one of the things you can change the smoothness
right
at the bottom, like low, medium, high.
I like that it's shiny too.
Yeah, I don't know how I did that. I think it might be the smoothness.
That's changing the smoothness. It definitely makes it shinier. It does take a little while longer to render if you change the smoothness to high, depending on the sort of machine you're on. So if you're working on a Chromebook or a mobile device, having it on high can sort of end up being a little bit frustrating after time. But.
Yeah, and then I did 2 different color eyes because my dog has 2 different color eyes, and I'm really into that right now.
I like that effect.
Yeah, I was saying hello, hi from Ali in Iraq. And then Richard's giving us a shout out because we're doing some debugging on the code. Thanks, Richard. It is fun. I love debugging. It's actually my favorite thing because it's the problem solving. And I think that's such an important thing when you're introducing a young person or an adult to coding, like letting them know that debugging is a natural part of it. And it's really fun. Like if your code doesn't work the first time, that's normal. That's 100% normal. Debugging is a real skill set. Jill, I see your face. What's going on?
Yeah, ours is not taken on nose shape quite yet. But we,
there we go.
Keith gave me a shout out saying, "Oh no, not." I thought he said you killed the snowman, as in like you did a good job. He might mean that we like actually hurt our snowman, but I'll take it as I like killed it, like I crushed it. I did a great job with my snowman. Thanks, Keith.
I got it. I did it.
Nice work.
Yeah, snowman action. So there's always a bit of trial and error. Even when you sort of like done it before a few times, you got to play with the numbers a little bit and make it work. It's not always.
Yeah. On YouTube, we had El Casa Major mentioned like you wanted, like they gave us some advice, and I think we got to the point. But thanks for that advice, El Casa Major, for how to translate the block within the rotate. So you first translate the carrot and then it rotates it. So we got that. Thank you so much for that advice.
Absolutely, yeah. That's it. Yeah, because that's the thing. Once you start rotating it, you start doing weird things with it. How you going, Max? How's your one working out, man?
He's taking the reins here.
Hey, nice.
It's the
We've
nose.
got the nose, but it's in the wrong place.
It's sort of dropped off his head.
It looks like it's on the right spot for the Z axis for Z. We just need to get it up a little bit.
Yes, and change the color. We overlooked that. And not that there's anything wrong.
It's okay. Mine's pink.
Yeah, it's okay. It's interesting that pink was the default, which is nice. We like pink. Yay. Well, a little better.
Power color. Oh, that's cool. Very well done, man. Really good. Oh, yeah, be careful when you're typing in those angles. That's another thing. If you move the mouse while you're typing, it thinks you're playing with the dial, and so it will sometimes change the angles in your code. That's why that's what was happening with mine. That's why my nose wasn't quite in the right place. I would type the angle and then move the mouse before I hit enter, and it would think I had set an angle using the dial, and so they were all like funky numbers, and I hadn't noticed until I rendered again.
Quite sensitive, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is very sensitive. So you just got to make sure you don't touch the mouse, type and hit enter, and then you should be cool to move the mouse again. Just it's a fiddly bit. Fantastic.
Good.
That was awesome. Thanks for coming along, Jill and Max. It was really great to have you guys today. It was really inspiring to hear about all the stuff you've done, guys. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you going to add to your snowman, Max?
I might actually keep the nose pink because I quite like it.
Nice.
Yeah, mine's pink too. Sounds good. I
And then
might
I'm-
add a hat. Are you going to add a hat to yours?
Yeah, add a hat. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you both so much for joining us. It was great having you. And happy holidays and happy new year.
You too. Thanks again.
Yeah, see y'all
My pleasure.
later.
Catch you later, guys. How fun was that? It was like
That was
so
great.
interesting and inspiring, like especially about how supportive and inclusive the making community is. Like I'm quite jealous actually. I've never been to Scratch Conference. I would love to go. And yeah, your snowman was amazing too. Like you were like blam, you just had it down. It was awesome.
I practiced.
Yeah.
Shout out to BlocksCAD. It was easy to follow along and to use it. I definitely, I have to think about what to do. Now that I know I could print it, I am really excited about that idea. And you mentioned like the support of the community. I mean, we had folks just super supportive of Jill and Max and giving us advice. So thank you to everyone that joined us, from Larry to Ali to Keith. I see Tim. Like we had such an amazing community with us today. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely. And don't forget though, if you want to do some more sort of work in BlocksCAD, we've got some projects on the project site that you can go to just here, rpf.io/BlocksCAD. We've got a whole bunch of projects for you to make 3D things. If you've got a printer, you can print them out at home like Christina was saying. And don't forget, make sure to subscribe on YouTube at rpf.io/sub so that you guys will be the first to know when more content like this goes live. Shout outs to Chris Haberley who just subscribed. Thanks for joining our growing community, man. It's awesome to have you along.
Yes, and let's get 1,000. Let's get 1,000 subscribers. We can bring Cassie on.
We can bring Cassie on. I can't wait for that. 1,000 subscribers.
I didn't ask my boss, but I'm now that I've got the commitment of the community.
He'll say yes. Don't worry about it. He's great like that.
Make sure. And so make sure you can always get in touch with us. Send us an email at dmah@raspberrypi.org. We love to hear from you. And if you're a young digital maker interested in joining the stream, you want to come on, code with us, do some make some 3D models, let us know.
Absolutely, that's right. And so thank you all for being here this week again for the Raspberry Pi Foundation's Digital Making at Home live stream. We're off for a couple of weeks now over the holidays, but we're going to be back again at 7 p.m. on the 6th of January with our friend Jonick to discuss his game Knifey Spoony and how he makes his own video games and things like that at home. So I can't wait for that. That's going to be awesome.
I'm excited.
Me too. Until then, everybody, stay safe and healthy, and we will see you after the holidays. Have a really great time.
Bye. Happy New Year.
Catch you later.